The World Cup is on, but today we're going to be deciding the winner, not based on football, but on who makes the best glasses. And if you're into football, soccer, or glasses, this is the video for you. If you're into both, then this could be heaven. Now, this is the largest ever World Cup, and therefore it's going to be a lot of fun to see some countries and some brands that we haven't ever talked about on this channel. First thing I need to do is narrow it down to the participants. I know Italy didn't make the cut, which is kind of hilarious, but not the end of the world, because 5-10 years ago, you would have definitely put Italy in the equation. Nowadays, that isn't the case. Mostly, Italian brands are mass-produced fashion brands on the likes of Luxottica, Safilo, Marcolin, Marchon. All of those giant manufacturers are based in North Italy. But that being said, there are a few glimpses of hope for Italy. We have Gast, who make probably the best value glasses in the world. And I styled 2 clients this week with the sharpest look with Gast frames. If Italy had actually made the World Cup, they might have made it into the equation. And Portrait as well, a very artistic, well, literally artistic, because they're based on the art world. Very creative eyewear brand that I think is extremely underrated as well. We also lost Denmark, which is a shame because Limburg make the best buffalo horn and also solid gold frames. But sadly, they're rubbish at football. And there are, of course, some countries that are amazing at football, but don't necessarily make glasses. So Messi and Ronaldo fans, sorry, I can't help you. Now we need to decide which brands are going to represent these countries that did make the cut. Let's start with the host country, the USA. America, for its size and scale, surprisingly doesn't make much eyewear nowadays, which I think is a real shame. But there are a couple of brands that are proudly American and I think are legendary. We have Moscot, absolutely iconic styles. Quality has gone up and down recently, but I think at the moment it's kind of on an upward trend. And of course there's Randolph Engineering, who make some incredible sunglasses featured in so many movies. Basically, if you see someone who's in a military setting wearing an aviator frame, the chances are it's going to be a Randolph Engineering frame. And those glasses are still made in the USA. Oh, and of course, let's not forget Maui Jim. For a long period of time, made probably the world's best off-the-shelf sunglasses and are still one of the best picks. If you're looking for a stock pair of sunglasses, I absolutely recommend Maui Jim. Amazing lenses, decent frames. It has to go to Jacques-Marie Marge, JMM, who changed the game when it came to the eyewear industry. They've really made glasses cool again. They've created a army of collectors, people who have a newfound love for eyewear, and I give them all the credit in the world for that. They're also exceptional quality. Made in Japan, not in the USA, but they are ultimately an American company based out of California, so they're going to be representing the USA. Now, a controversial one maybe because so many African players, referees, etc. struggle to actually get into the country for the tournament. You might be surprised to see Ghana on this list. Ghana has this one brand that I've been following for so many years, and I'm really glad to finally be able to feature them, which is Botan. Originally, they started with pure wood glasses, but I can see that they've now branched out into acetate. They've always been like very stylish and very good value. Could be a wild card in this tournament. Belgium has one standout candidate for me, which is Teo. Extremely innovative and extremely creative. The reason why I don't talk about Teo more is because I see them as kind of like the lesser JFRA. If you want something really unique, really creative that you can still wear every day, JFRA is where it's at. But Teo has left a mark on the eyewear industry, and they have, you could argue, even more like unusual frames. I just think they're less wearable. Like most people can't pull those off as a daily pair of glasses. Teo is going to be representing Belgium in the Glasses World Cup. Spain might be incredible at football, not so much when it comes to glasses. Again, they have one standout brand, which is Etnia Barcelona, and the sister company Lowell. Lowell is definitely cooler than Etnia Barcelona. They're a really interesting minimalistic titanium brand, a good alternative to Reykjavik Eyes. Notice Iceland didn't make the cut this year, which I'm absolutely gutted about. I don't get to talk about Reykjavik Eyes for once. New candidate, Akoni. Akoni is awesome. You know, I've worked on many pairs now for clients who've sent their frames in to us, and definitely we're looking at being a stockist. It's just that they're only just getting established now, tying in their designs with Swiss watchmaking. Awesome concept and awesome glasses. So they're going to be representing Switzerland. South Korea has a big player, which I have not talked about enough on this channel. Gentle Monster. Really disrupting the market because they make very affordable but very stylish glasses. Here's a little anecdote. Last time I was in Dubai, I actually checked out the Gentle Monster store, which is in the Dubai Mall. And I was really looking forward to that because I was thinking, you know, Gentle Monster, I love their designs. They look great quality from the screen. What are they actually like in real life? And I was severely disappointed. Like, the quality is not there, or it wasn't there. Not everyone cares about quality. A lot of people just care about cool factor and price. They are very cool. They are very well priced. Not everything can be top quality. So that's my take on Gentle Monster, but they're gonna be running against the USA in the first leg. So that's going to be interesting. Oh, and another new, very exciting eyewear brand that I'm keeping a very close eye on is La Pima. Their sculpted acetates, pretty extraordinary and really caught my eye immediately when I saw them. The brand's also founded by a lovely couple who I got to meet. Seem like very genuine people who are just very passionate about style. That's a brand that I'm definitely hoping to work with more, and they're going to be representing Brazil in the tournament. And then we have Austria. Now, Austria has a long tradition with eyewear. Carrera glasses used to be founded there when Carrera was a true legendary brand. But we also have a huge eyewear brand, Silhouette. If you go into most optical stores and you want a thin, minimalistic, rimless, high probability that Silhouette is going to be the brand that they offer to you. In the grand scheme, yes, they are good glasses, but when you're actually shopping around and looking at other minimalistic brands, like Lowell that I've mentioned, like Reykjavik Eyes, like Lindbergh, Silhouette to me just don't match up to any of those. You have to give it to them. They are very comfortable glasses, very lightweight glasses, very simple glasses. And they do have a big fan base. They have a lot of wearers, millions of wearers. So Austria completes that first 8. Now, because I could only think of 12 eyewear brands that I really wanted to feature in this video because either they are good at football but not good at glasses, or they're good at glasses but didn't make the tournament, there are 4 candidates that I've put through automatically to the next round. Japan, France, Germany, and England. I think they're the 4 clear standouts from that initial list. Japan, if you've watched this channel at all before, you don't need me to tell you, they make the best glasses in the world. So I'd say Japan are definitely the favorites for this. There's one Japanese eyewear brand that for me is clear of all the rest, and that is Masunaga. Masunaga is the oldest factory in Japan. Founded in 1905, they're still family owned. They were responsible for creating a guild of optical craftsmen who went on to make up many of the other high quality eyewear brands and manufacturing glasses for other brands from other countries, like the aforementioned JMM, for example. Masunaga is really responsible for the explosion in Japanese eyewear and the fact that they are now the best of the best, when it comes to quality at least. Other brands might have something to say when it comes to originality, when it comes to style, and also, of course, when it comes to cult status. So there could be an upset, and speaking of favourites, France would definitely be the clear number 2. Just like Brazil and France have that long rivalry, Japan and France have the same rivalry in eyewear. They still are the most artisanal country of origin. Not least brands like Cartier and my favorite JFRA, also Luca de Stel, who hand makes each pair from leather. Those for me are the best balance of comfort, durability, style, and also uniqueness. Like, they're so unique. No other glasses in the world are made from leather. And you know, Cartier would definitely run them close, but some Cartier frames are made in France, some are made in Italy, some are made in Japan, and for that, I'm going to go with a purely French manufacturer. Germany is also a big hitter here, and of course, they're great in tournaments. So Germany, you have IC Berlin, you have Maikita, really great minimalistic eyewear brands. You also have Kuberaum, which is super artistic. If you could encapsulate Berlin into an eyewear brand, it would definitely be Kuberaum. You also have Cazal, probably the most legendary eyewear brand. You could argue that without Cazal, we wouldn't be where we are today, where glasses are a true fashion accessory. And you know, their frames are still really cool and really original. Other brands kind of trying to emulate them and copy them, which I don't like to see. Dita, for example, Cazal are just next level and underappreciated, massively underappreciated with eyewear collectors, just because they're so distinctive and a bit more difficult to pull off, I would say, because they're so bold. England also has a rich history with eyewear. Still have, you know, a few really great brands. You have Linda Farrow, definitely one of the ultimate luxury fashion eyewear brands. You have Cutler and Gross, featured so many times in Hollywood. That quintessential British suit gentleman look. Anglo-American Optical and Walter & Herbert, 2 brands that I talk about a lot on this channel because they represent amazing value in the mid-range. But for me, the best eyewear coming out of the UK at the moment is Esmont. And we'll get back to Esmont when we get to that leg of the tournament. So our first leg, who is going to be facing off against Japan? Brazil versus Belgium, La Pima versus Teo. If you offered me a Teo frame or a La Pima frame right now, I'm going with La Pima. It's more up to date, it's more modern and stylish and just cooler, personally. That said, Teo has much more history. I mean, La Pima is probably the newest brand on this list. So we've got tradition versus style. In terms of quality, I'd say they're pretty equal. I wasn't blown away by the quality of either of them. I think in a tournament setting, sometimes experience counts, and we're just going to edge it, I think, 2-1 for Belgium. Good luck to Belgium facing off against Japan next. Now we have Botan versus Silhouette. And again, it's a similar kind of thing, because for me, Botan, way cooler. I would recommend them every day over Silhouette, but I can't argue that Silhouette have a lot of fans, a lot of people who swear by their frames, and they're much more historic. And to be fair, you know, they have been game-changing in the industry. You know, there was a time where they were the best at what they do. It's just that other brands have caught up and surpassed them. But you know, this is a tournament for today, and whilst Teo, I still think are really cool frames, Silhouette, I can't say that for. I'm actually going to go 1-0 to Ghana here. Again, they're kind of sending Ghana to be slaughtered, but Etnia Barcelona versus Akoni, probably the best 2 so far. Etnia Barcelona, I've been very critical of. I think they made huge waves when they first came on the scene around 10 years ago, then dipped off as they kind of stagnated. And you see this a lot with brands that are successful. They just keep doing the same thing and stop being innovative. We've seen that with Lindbergh, we've seen that with Dita, we've seen that with Teo, and we've definitely seen that with Silhouette. But Etnia Barcelona have kind of recovered a little bit, and their Kubrick series was really cool. Definitely seen a big improvement in the last year or so. I think they definitely scored 2 goals in this match. Akoni is going to be the winner though. Better quality, better styles, more original, more up to date, cooler, just better in every way. They're going to win this one 5-2. And Switzerland progressed to face off against Germany. That is going to be a close tie. South Korea versus USA. Gentle Monster versus JMM. Two brands at opposite ends of the spectrum. JMM are extremely high-end, Gentle Monster extremely affordable. How could they possibly challenge? Well, both brands are about equally as mainstream. And this is going to hurt a lot of JMM collectors who think they're special by wearing JMM. You're not. Out of all the brands that we work with, like JMM is the most common, I would say. Every high-end eyewear collector now has a JMM frame. They're numbered, 100 pieces, 150, 200. Here's a fact check. Every independent eyewear brand makes their glasses in the hundreds, 200s. That's nothing special. It's just usually they don't number them. All they keep doing is releasing the same models in new colorways that are slightly different. And I think that is starting to really aggravate a lot of JMM collectors. So that's the flip side of JMM. And that's why this is closer than you might think. Gentle Monster are really cool. They're cool as a brand. Their styles are cool. Everything about them is cool. And the fact that they're arguably more niche, despite being a fifth of the price than JMM, scores them points in my eyes. I already put a huge case forward for JMM. There's no doubt the quality is exceptional. The originality of some of their models is exceptional. The packaging is perfect. Yeah, I can't say that JMM is not the winner. 6-3. And England, USA next. Esmont versus JMM is going to be an extremely close match. We're now down to the quarterfinals and we have Japan versus Belgium. So Masunaga has 3 tiers of eyewear. They have the regular Masunaga line. They have the K3 line, which was designed in collaboration with Kenzo Takeda, the famous fashion brand Kenzo. Then they have their Master of Craft series, which is like where they put their very best craftsmen. They are strictly limited to 150 and there are only 3 models in 3 colors released each year. The best quality glasses, in my opinion, ever made. Better than any other brands on this list from a quality perspective. Teo are just a cool eyewear brand that has done stuff, isn't anything like exceptional in my opinion. This one is going to be a hammering. Belgium score points with Teo. They're not like a bad eyewear brand. They're good glasses. They're going to get 3 goals, but Japan are going to win this one like 8-3. They didn't even have to pull out the Kenzo or the Master of Craft series. That was an easy victory. France versus Ghana. When I add everything up, comfort, durability, style, originality, I think Luca de Stel are the best in the world. They're the ultimate eyewear brand and they're so underappreciated. Why are there 1,000 more JMM glasses in the world than Luca de Stel? Well, I guess it's because each one of his is literally handmade by him and his team in his workshop in Paris. They're certainly not made in a factory environment. Anyway, that face-off might be to come. Boton can't compete with them on any level. Sorry, Boton. This one is a 7-0. Credit to Boton for making the tournament. Credit to Ghana for being in the World Cup. Now we have Casal versus Akoni. Probably the biggest tie of the tournament so far. Casal, founded by Carazaloni, the most important eyewear designer of all time. He really changed the whole culture around eyewear. He made it so people who didn't wear glasses wanted to wear glasses. Clear glasses, not sunglasses. Glasses. Now, they're not as popular in 2026 as they once were, and I think that's because the quality is kind of average. Most of the pieces are not made in Germany. Most of the pieces are actually made in China, but that's not true of the Legends series. The original Legends pieces, the ones that Carazaloni himself designed, are still made in Germany. The 607, maybe the most legendary pair of glasses of all time. Akoni is on the up and up, and Akoni are better quality. They're made in Japan. The craftsmanship is exquisite. The side shields on many of the sunglasses, I love that aesthetic. I love the whole branding around them, and they're such a departure from Dita, considering they're made by the same people who left when Dita was bought out. I think this is a 3-3 draw, and I think this one goes to penalties just because of legendary status. Germany, Casal win it on penalties. It's so close. Now, Esmont versus JMM is a huge tie. Esmont are based around aviation. So Yanis, who's the founder, is a 2nd-generation pilot, and he was inspired by the way that old aircraft were manufactured. They have such a unique kind of finish and construction. When I first heard that, it didn't really resonate with me, I've got to be honest, but when he took me down to the aviation museum and we actually saw those old planes and the way that they're actually constructed, it really spoke to me. I now have 3 Esmont frames, and they are 3 of my favorite glasses. And they're 3 of the ones I get the most compliments on. They're all exceptional quality, fantastically original, flashy and stylish enough to look super high end. They really can be dressed up, but they can also be worn every day, which is a hard balance to strike. But of course, JMM, they are at the moment the biggest eyewear brand, especially in the luxury eyewear market. Been very smart with not only his marketing, but his passion and his attention to detail. Making glasses at that level, it doesn't just come by chance. You have to be an absolute absolute perfectionist. That makes this a really tough call. If you gave me a choice between a JMM frame and an Esmont frame, I'm going with Esmont, honestly. I appreciate that most people would choose JMM, but maybe that's because they're not exposed to both. Both limited edition, both made in Japan, both not Japanese brands, but both made in Japan. I think this one would be like a 6-all draw. And I'm not afraid to be controversial, so I'm gonna go with Esmont. By the way, I'm definitely not biased towards the UK here. Like, I don't really care. I'm actually rooting for Curacao because I have one amazing customer. I hope he's watching this one, Raj, in Curacao. I saw that they actually played the first game the day that this was filmed. Huge historic moment. So they're my team of the tournament. Anyway, Japan and France. This is almost impossible. I love the feel, the softness of the leather, and you just can't replicate that with acetate and titanium. No matter how well they're made, they're just fundamentally different materials. That being said, a Masunaga frame, especially a Master of Craft frame, and we're going to bring out the big guns for this match. If that is an object to hold in your hands and just think, this is best of the best. You know, I love my Grand Seiko watch. It's so well made. It might not be well known, but this for me is my dream watch. It's because of the quality. Masunaga are the equivalent of that in eyewear. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I think Japan are the winner. Sorry, Luca. He's a great guy, but I think Japan just win this one. And they're going through to the final. Now, who's going to meet them in the final? We've got Cazal versus Esmont. And this is going to be one of the less close ties because as good as Cazal are, and I've said everything I can say about them, I've also said everything I need to say about Esmont. An Esmont frame for most people is going to represent a much better purchase. If you have a big collection, definitely have a Cazal, but if you want one pair of daily glasses, definitely go Esmont. An easy 4-1 for England. And now we have the tie no one expected. Very much doubt this is going to be the real final in the World Cup. Japan versus England. Masunaga versus Esmont. I actually featured this in a short video where I showcased the Master of Craft collection against the Esmont Apollo 1. One of the coolest frames out there. In fact, I rated it as the coolest pair of last year. It's a tough tie, and if you watch that video, you'll see why. Like, it was really neck and neck. Masunaga, the fact that they have something for everyone, they have a much bigger catalog, they have a much wider range of price points, they have a much wider range of styles, they have much more history, they have much more importance. Yeah, Japan are winning this World Cup. Close game, 5-4. In the end. What do you think? Are Japan the right winners? And what is your favorite eyewear brand? Oh, and of course, who are you supporting in this year's World Cup? Let us know in the comments below.